Depression is a touchy subject, especially when it comes to teenagers who are in the midst of still trying to figure themselves out. Teens have never been faced with the amount of challenges they are hit with today. With the rise in social media, teens are constantly questioning if they're good enough, which can be one of the main factors to lead to a dramatic rise in teen depression. Welcome back, Psychos. Today we'll be talking about 8 hidden signs of teen depression. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, as well as click the notification bell so that you never miss a video. Number 1. Persistent sadness or aggression. Teens are going through a whole host of hormone challenges and changes to their brain signals and thinking patterns, which makes it much more difficult to pinpoint signs of depression. Mood swings in teens are normal, but that's exactly what it should be, a mix of happy and negative emotions. So when a teen has a constant mood of feeling down and angry towards others, it's worth monitoring and keeping an eye on. As a parent, it's not rare for a teen to start challenging your authority. But if it's a constant battle and you don't think you're being unreasonable, you can always have a calm conversation out of concern. Take a mental note of anything that could have been a tragic change for them, such as a loss of a loved one, moving homes or schools, or a traumatic family event, because all of these things can lead to emotional grieving, which are totally normal. However, if these emotions of grieving tend to last for months, you may have a clear sign that your teen is dealing with depression. Number 2. Minor physical pains. Depression is a mental struggle. However, the constant release of stress hormones can cause minor aches and pains in the body, which can be a sure sign of hidden depression. Anything from persistent headaches, stomach pains, or muscle pains throughout the body are a proven sign of dealing with depression. Now, teens are still in the developmental stage, so hormones can also be to blame. But if these aches and pains are accompanied by other symptoms and are otherwise unexplainable, then it could definitely be a sign of depression. Researcher and MD Robert D. Keeley claims that if you have stomach pain and there's an ulcer, that's an explanation. But often, physical illnesses occur with no apparent reason, and depression could likely be a cause. These pains are resistant to traditional medications or treatment because it has to do with an imbalance of chemicals, disrupting signals rather than a problem of an actual site of pain. Number 3. Sudden change in eating habits. Sudden and persistent changes in eating habits is a huge red flag for any depression sufferers. Whether you notice a sudden and noticeable increase in food intake, often unhealthy options, or you notice a prolonged lack of appetite, changes in eating behaviours can tell us a lot about what's going on in the brain. It's a well-known fact to psychologists that the gut is considered to be the second brain, directly linking mental problems with gut issues. Humans are known to eat in response to their emotions, no matter what age they're at. Any drastic changes in gaining or losing weight for teens should be brought to the attention of a professional. Especially when we're referring to teens, eating disorders can be a big sign of an underlying mental health disorder such as depression or anxiety, which can then further their feelings of mental discomfort. Noticing this change and not doing anything about it can be the worst possible case, because drastic changes in eating patterns can further all other symptoms associated with hidden depression in teens, leading to a spiral out of control. Number 4. Loss of social interest. A change in interest in social activities is a normal part of growing up, but ditching old social activities like sports and groups is often due to a newfound interest or curiosity in another type of social setting. If a teen is dropping things that they once enjoyed because they've lost interest in socializing altogether, this can be a definite sign of depression. Depression craves comfort, so a lack of interest in things like staying physically active and socializing, accompanied with a growing desire to just stay in their rooms, and go on social media can say a lot about what's going on mentally. When dealing with bouts of depression, people often find it to be too much of a hassle to go out and do the things they once loved. They aren't looking at life with the same perspective as they did previously, before they were experiencing depression. Number 5. Use of substances. Some parents may find that a use of substances like drugs, cigarettes, or alcohol are a separate problem from depression, which could indeed be the case. Substance use is a fair warning that there are some depressive thoughts running through their mind. Teens use drugs and alcohol in an attempt to self-medicate or escape their pesky depressive thoughts. This could lead them to hanging out with the wrong crowds with people they feel like they can relate to. Substance use can then soon turn into substance abuse, because the act of using the substance can cause them to feel guilty and not look at themselves the same. This can obviously worsen depression and possibly lead them down the wrong path in life. Now, let's be real. People in their late teens are often curious and may want to experiment with things like alcohol and cigarettes with their friends. We've all been teenagers before. So there's a possibility that this is just a phase, but it's worth it to look deeper into the issues if you find that it's persistent, especially when accompanied by other depressive signs. Number 6. Change in sleeping patterns. Sudden and drastic changes in sleeping patterns is another hidden sign of teenage depression, or any depression for that matter. With teenagers, it can be a little more difficult to pinpoint because if given the choice, teenagers would stay up late and sleep in, which is quite typical. They may choose to do this on weekends, but if these wacky sleeping patterns begin to interfere with their lives in terms of school and socialising, it could be a sign of underlying depression. Depression is known to cause insomnia, or the habit of sleeping more than is needed, which can be both disruptive of the body's normal functions. It's common for depressive teens to switch back and forth from two extremes. Drastic changes in sleep patterns can also be a sign of substance abuse or even technology abuse. An overuse of phone, computer, or TV time can actually be one of the direct causes of depression. According to mentalhealthnational.org, the blue light that is emitted from these screens can have a major impact on the melatonin production, the main sleep hormone, which can then have a direct impact on the increased chance of having some type of mood disorder, including depression. Number 7. Sudden drop in grades. Depression tends to rob people of motivation, which is one of the main reasons you can see a dip in grades and interest in school. If grades in school have never been a problem for the teen and then a sudden drop in interest occurs, it could be a temporary sign of development or a sign that there is some type of underlying mental health problem. School grades are a good way to see what's going on in a teen's brain in terms of focus, motivation, interests, and goal setting, which are all aspects that could be directly affected when faced with depressive episodes. Grades are one thing, but if the teen is avoiding school and skipping classes altogether, avoiding classes is definitely something to look into further, as it could be a sign of hanging out with the wrong crowd, substance abuse, or social anxiety. Whether it's new issues or one that's been going on for a while, skipping classes and poor grades is a subconscious cry for help. Number 8. Presence of other mental illnesses. Adolescents that have an underlying mental illness such as anxiety, eating disorders, personality disorders, etc. are more prone to showing signs of developing depression. Teens that have physical illnesses or diagnosis in early childhood also have a considerably higher chance of having depressive symptoms and episodes. Coping with such illnesses or diagnoses can have a major impact on their life satisfaction and can sometimes become overwhelming. Depression is real and is apparent in this teenage generation more than any generation before. It's more important now more than ever for all of us to know the signs and symptoms of teen depression in order to know when it's appropriate to seek out treatment. In fact, according to Discovery Mood and Anxiety Programme, only 30% of depressed teens are getting treatment. Meanwhile, suicide is the third leading cause of death in young adults aged 15 to 24. Do your part and stay educated. You never know who you will be able to help. Well, that's it for today, Psychos. Let us know in the comments below if you or someone you may know have signs of depression and what you do to cope with it. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share this video with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel for more Psycho videos. We hope you learned something, and we'll see you in the next video.